Hello, and thank you for your interest in the Route 50 STARS Safety and Operational Improvement Study in Arlington County. This study was undertaken as part of VDOT's Strategically Targeted and Affordable Roadway Solutions Program, also known as the STARS program, and it's the second public engagement for this study, which is a joint effort of both VDOT and Arlington County. Our first public information meeting was held in November at Thomas Jefferson Middle School. This is an outline of the presentation. We will discuss existing traffic and safety conditions, and if you would like to review additional information on the background of the study, detailed material from the November public meeting is available on the VDOT project website. Next, we will explain the progress of the study team and review the results of the online survey. Then we will discuss the different alternatives that were developed by the study team and the benefits of each alternative before wrapping up the presentation with the next steps, including how you can provide feedback on the alternatives under consideration. The purpose of the study is to evaluate safety and operational conditions along Route 50 within the study area between Glebe Road and Fillmore Street, and to evaluate potential improvements to enhance safety and operations. Cost estimates will also be prepared for the alternatives under consideration to determine the amount of funding needed to implement the improvements. We want to emphasize that improvements identified as part of the study have not yet been funded, and there's no timeline for construction. The study area consists of Route 50 between Glebe Road and Fillmore Street. This section of Route 50 includes the two signalized intersections at Irving Street and Fillmore Street, which were recently improved with new traffic signal equipment and upgraded pedestrian and bicycle amenities. There are also 6 unsignalized intersections and 10 driveways. The Route 50 study area is a little under a mile long, and about 62,000 vehicles travel through this area each day. Route 50 has a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit and has 6 travel lanes with 3 per direction, with no median and no turn lanes at most intersections. On-street parking is permitted along Route 50 between Garfield Street and Fenwick Street, and there are segments of frontage roads throughout the corridor to provide access to residential driveways and connect side streets. The photo in the middle of the page depicts the 6 lanes without a median or left turn lanes approaching the Irving Street intersection. This illustrates the operational issues of not providing left turn lanes, especially at signalized intersections like Irving Street, and how through vehicles are avoiding this travel lane, reducing the efficiency of the third lane on Route 50. This also creates a major safety issue and increases the potential for rear-end and left turn related crashes. The study area also contains several accommodations for pedestrians and bicycles. The Arlington Boulevard Trail runs along both sides of Route 50. The Irving Street and Fillmore Street signalized intersections each have signalized crosswalks on all 4 legs of the intersection, with the highest number of pedestrians crossing Route 50 on the east side of Fillmore Street. Pedestrians also have the option of crossing Route 50 on the pedestrian bridge located east of Jackson Street. To assess safety conditions along the corridor, the study team reviewed crash data for a 5-year period. 247 crashes occurred within the study area, including 61 that resulted in injuries. 7 involved pedestrians or bicyclists, 5 of which occurred near Fillmore Street. Crashes were evaluated to identify appropriate improvement alternatives. Rear-end crashes were the most common type, followed by angle crashes, which can be attributed to a lack of access control at intersections. The crashes are more concentrated at intersections. This figure shows the number of crashes that occurred over the 5-year period at each intersection. Irving Street had the highest number, and Fillmore Street had the second highest number of crashes. Many are the result of long queues at intersections and vehicles stopping to make left turns. When comparing alternatives and discussing safety, one method used to evaluate safety benefits is to review the number of conflict points. Conflict points are the places in an intersection where traffic movements intersect each other. They can involve merging vehicles, vehicles departing an intersection, or vehicles crossing each other. In general, fewer conflict points results in safer intersections. As you can see in the graphic, with the installation of a raised median on Route 50, you would reduce conflict points from 32 to 4. We will discuss the conflict points of each alternative later in the presentation. During the data collection efforts, videos were recorded at the study intersections. This video was taken at Irving Street during the AM peak hour with the camera looking towards the southeast. Because vehicles turning left from Route 50 to Irving Street do not have a left turn lane or green arrow, they sit in the middle of the intersection waiting for a gap in traffic. At the same time, vehicles who want to continue through on Route 50 become stuck behind the left turning vehicle and oftentimes switch lanes to go around. As you can see, the heavy eastbound Route 50 traffic during the AM peak hour causes long queues through the Irving Street intersection, making it even more difficult for vehicles wanting to make a westbound left turn onto Irving Street. This next video was taken at the Fillmore Street intersection during the AM peak hour. Traffic on Fillmore Street wanting to turn left onto Route 50 must yield to oncoming through traffic and pedestrians crossing Route 50. Vehicles that want to travel through the intersection to stay on Irving Street either stack behind the vehicle waiting to turn left or illegally use the right turn lane to go through the intersection. In addition, pedestrians see a walk indication at the same time as left turns and right turns from Fillmore Street, which creates potential conflicts. This video was taken at the Fillmore Street intersection during the PM peak hour. Similar issues as the AM are still occurring, but this video specifically shows the motorist confusion at the intersection and varying levels of driver aggressiveness. As this northbound Fillmore Street vehicle waits for an opportunity to turn left onto Route 50, the vehicles behind them stack up and then decide to make the same left turn without waiting. This causes potential conflicts as now there are two vehicles making the left turn at the same time from a single lane. Since the last public meeting in November, the study team reviewed the results of the online survey that participants used to submit feedback. Reviewing the public feedback helped our study team to gain an understanding of the public's primary concerns and the most needed improvements. Various alternatives were then developed and analyzed to compare the safety and operational benefits. Cost estimates were then developed for the various alternatives considered. Here's an overview of the survey results. If you're interested in more details of the responses, please visit the VDOT project website for responses to each survey question. The survey was available for 20 days and had 927 total participants. The survey results showed that traffic congestion was ranked as the top priority, closely followed by highway safety and then pedestrian safety. We have summarized some of the other survey highlights. The responses indicated that the top three mobility issues are lack of left turn lanes, difficulty making left turns, and difficulty when walking within the corridor or crossing Route 50. During the alternatives development process, left turn operations and pedestrian safety were a main focus of the study team. The top three safety concerns were congestion, difficulty turning onto side streets from Route 50, and aggressive or distracted driving. 5 total alternatives were developed and analyzed. There are 3 variations of Alternative 1, which are named Alternative 1A, 1B, and 1C. And in addition to the 5 alternatives, 4 options were developed which can be implemented in combination with any of the alternatives. I will explain the details of each alternative and option in more detail in the following pages. This graphic depicts the current Route 50 corridor and serves as a baseline for comparison to the alternatives under consideration, with Glebe Road on the left-hand side of the page and Washington Boulevard on the right-hand side for a point of reference. We realize it may be difficult to see some of the details of these images, so for this graphic or any of the alternative graphics, higher resolution versions are available on the VDOT project website that you can zoom into and see more detail. To begin our presentation of the alternatives, this graphic is a cross-section of Route 50 for alternatives 1A, 1B, and 1C. It consists of a grass median with 3 travel lanes in each direction. The median would narrow at locations with turn lanes, including Fillmore and Irving Street. The existing trails on each side would remain or be reconstructed if they are impacted by the widening. The raised median would improve safety by reducing conflict points at unsignalized intersections and by providing separation between the eastbound and westbound Route 50 travel lanes. Alternative 1A includes a raised median to prohibit left turns to and from the unsignalized intersections. Openings in the median would be provided at Fillmore Street and Irving Street. New left turn lanes would be installed on Route 50 at Irving Street with a protected green arrow, which would reduce the potential for rear-end crashes and help to balance traffic in each of the 3 through lanes along Route 50. Bicycle and pedestrian safety at Irving Street would be improved due to the signalization of the Route 50 left turns. As a result of the raised median, the left turn volumes onto Irving Street and Fillmore Street are expected to increase. Another aspect of this alternative is extending the left turn lane on westbound Route 50 to Fillmore Street, which currently fills up and causes vehicles to back into the through lanes on Route 50. This feature is the same with all of the alternatives under consideration. The on-street parking on eastbound Route 50 between Garfield Street and Fenwick Street would also be removed with this alternative, as well as all 5 alternatives. Alternative 1B has the same general characteristics as 1A, but has some movement restrictions. The through movements from Irving Street to cross Route 50 are prohibited, and the left turn movements from Fillmore Street to Route 50 are also prohibited. By eliminating the left turn movements from Fillmore Street, pedestrian and bicycle conflicts would be reduced, which is the location with the highest number of pedestrians crossing Route 50. Delays at Irving Street and Fillmore Street would also be reduced. It should be noted that the turn prohibitions may be difficult to enforce at the Fillmore Street and Irving Street intersections. The next series of graphics depicts the potential alternate routes that motorists may take as a result of the turn restrictions. For each turn restriction, there are several other routes that motorists may take depending on their starting point or ultimate destinations, and this is just an example of the potential rerouting within the study area. Vehicles that want to travel northbound on Irving Street across Route 50 may instead make a northbound right onto Route 50 and then turn left onto Fillmore Street, or travel north on Fillmore Street to cross Route 50. Vehicles that want to travel southbound on Irving Street across Route 50 may instead make a southbound left turn onto Route 50, then turn right onto Fillmore Street, or make a southbound right from Fillmore Street and left onto Irving Street, or just travel south on Fillmore Street to cross Route 50. Vehicles that want to make a northbound left from Fillmore Street may instead make a northbound left from Irving Street. Vehicles that want to make a southbound left from Fillmore Street may instead make a southbound left from Irving Street. Alternative 1C has the same general characteristics as 1A and 1B, but has different movement prohibitions. Left turns from Irving Street to Route 50 and through movements from Fillmore Street across Route 50 would be prohibited. By eliminating the left turn movements from Irving Street, the pedestrian and bicycle conflicts would be reduced at this intersection. The higher left turn movements from Fillmore Street would increase the potential for conflicts with pedestrians at Fillmore Street, which is the location with the highest pedestrian crossings. Similar to Alternative 1B, the turn prohibitions may be difficult to enforce. Vehicles that want to make a northbound left turn from Irving Street onto Route 50 may instead make a northbound left at Fillmore Street. Vehicles that want to make a southbound left turn from Irving Street onto Route 50 may instead make a southbound left at Fillmore Street. Vehicles that want to travel northbound on Fillmore Street across Route 50 may instead make a northbound left onto Route 50 and then turn right onto Irving Street, or make a northbound right from Irving Street onto Route 50 and then turn left onto Fillmore Street, or just travel north on Irving Street to cross Route 50. Motorists that want to travel southbound on Fillmore Street across Route 50 may instead make a southbound right onto Route 50 and then turn left onto Irving Street, or just travel south on Irving Street across Route 50. Moving on to our discussion of Alternative 2. Similar to Alternative 1 designs, the cross-section for Alternative 2 would include a raised median, but it would be 6 feet wide in concrete. The narrower median would result in less significant widening of Route 50, but also means less separation between the eastbound and westbound travel lanes. Alternative 2 includes a raised median to prohibit left turns to and from side streets. Left turns from Route 50 to Irving Street would be prohibited with signs, and left turn lanes would not be provided, which would divert traffic to Fillmore Street. Similar to Alternatives 1A, 1B, and 1C, the westbound left turn lane storage at Fillmore Street would be extended. Vehicles that want to make an eastbound left turn from Route 50 to Irving Street may instead turn left at Fillmore Street. Vehicles that want to make a westbound left turn from Route 50 to Irving Street may instead make a left turn at Fillmore Street. And now to describe Alternative 3. The cross-section of Alternative 3 is the same as existing conditions. There would be no median or physical separation between the two directions of Route 50. Left turns at unsignalized intersections would be prohibited with signing, and right-in, right-out islands. Similar to Alternative 2, left turns onto Irving Street would be prohibited and no left turn lanes would be provided. This alternative requires no widening of Route 50, but enforcement of the left turn restrictions would be difficult and would likely require overhead sign structures to install the no left turn signs along Route 50. Similar to Alternative 2, vehicles wanting to turn left onto Irving Street from the west may turn left onto Fillmore Street. Or vehicles wanting to turn left onto Irving Street from the east may turn left onto Fillmore Street. Because safety is one of the primary issues in the study area, it's important to evaluate improvements to safety for each of the alternatives. Of the 57 angle or left turn crashes, approximately 16 would have been eliminated with a raised median. Approximately 26 of the 133 rear-end crashes specifically attributed to mid-block left turns would also have been eliminated. The alternatives would reduce conflict points in the study area from 56 to 69%. In the November survey, the public identified difficulty making left turns and lack of left turn lanes as one of their two primary concerns. All 5 alternatives would improve corridor operations by prohibiting left turns from unsignalized intersections. Alternatives 1B and 1C include the most improvements to left turn operations by prohibiting certain side street movements at Irving Street and Fillmore Street in order for the side streets to operate more efficiently. These 2 alternatives also install left turn lanes at Irving Street with a protected green arrow. The survey also identified safety of pedestrian crossings of Route 50 as a primary concern. Alternatives 1B and 1C improve safety for pedestrians crossing Route 50 to the greatest extent by prohibiting certain side street movements from Irving Street and Fillmore Street. Alternative 1B reduces the greatest number of conflicts with pedestrians due to the higher volume of pedestrians crossing Route 50 at Fillmore Street and prohibiting the left turns from Fillmore Street onto Route 50. This table provides a comparison of each of the 5 alternatives and includes the key concerns noted by the public, which are left turn operations and pedestrian safety. As shown, the existing conditions has the poorest ratings, while alternative 1B has the highest overall ratings, but also comes with a higher overall cost due to the widening required to install the median along Route 50. On the next pages, I'll describe the 4 options that could be considered with any alternatives, but these options do not impact the evaluation criteria noted above. This is the first of 4 options that can be combined with any of the chosen alternatives discussed on the prior pages. Option A is a service road that would be an extension of Old Glebe Road and eliminates 5 residential driveways on Route 50, thereby reducing conflict points and improving safety. Option B is a service road north of Route 50 and west of Irving Street that would eliminate 2 driveways on Route 50, reducing conflict points and improving safety. Option C would maintain on-street parking between Garfield Street and Fenwick Street, where parking is currently allowed. This option would not eliminate potential conflicts along Route 50 when vehicles enter and exit parking spaces, which is not typical for a corridor like Route 50. Option D would extend the service road between Garfield Street and Fenwick Street. This option would eliminate on-street parking conflicts on Route 50 while still providing opportunities for parking. We are now asking for your feedback on the alternatives under consideration using the survey available on the VDOT project website. The comment period will extend through May 29th. Once your feedback is collected, VDOT and Arlington County will review the survey results and then identify a preferred alternative. Arlington County will then apply for project funding as the project is not yet funded. Arlington County has submitted a pre-application to apply for Smart Scale funding, with the final application due in August 2020. Again, thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Route 50 STARS study. If you would like more information about the project, including materials from the first public meeting or more detailed graphics of the alternatives in this presentation, please visit the VDOT project website. Please don't forget to answer the survey, as your feedback is very important to us.